Go.
All right. Hello, people, ladies, fellas. This is the Football Frame of Mind podcast. Um, Man, we've been growing, man, haven't we? We've been growing a lot. We got a lot more subscribers, man, approaching 12,000. Growing every day, man. So, but like I said, this is a Football Frame of Mind podcast. I'm Cam. That's Brandon. But before we can even get into it, we got so much to talk about. But before we get into that, how you doing, man?
Oh, we doing good, man. Doing really, really good.
All right, man. So this video is sponsored by Off the Ball Network, man. Some great guys over there. Great conversations, man. If you are into all kind of sports, man, I'm talking baseball, basketball, football, wrestling. They got everything over there, man. And the guys are interactive, man. So check it out, man. They got a lot of content over there, man. Really good stuff. So then we got our second sponsor, man, Bet US, man. One of the oldest sports books out there. They gonna take care of all your sports gambling, sports betting, sports books, whatever it is that you like, man. Horse racing, NASCAR, whatever you want, they got it, man. So we got a link in our description, man. Great deal. Check it out, man. See if it fits your needs, man. Uh, I enjoy it, except when I lose, but it's all right. It's part of the game. So, but uh, big announcement before we get started, man. We are on all of the platforms that you can think of. We're still on YouTube, but we are on Audible, Spotify, let's see, what's the other one? Listen Notes, wherever you get your podcast from, we're on there, man. Just type in Football Frame of Mind podcast. We should be right there. So, trying to get a schedule to release videos so it won't just pop up. But if you got your notifications on, you'll definitely be a part of the journey. So, like I said, we are expanding and we going into different places, different markets. So we're glad to have all of you guys on the ride with us. So without further ado, man, let's get into this recap, man. Was that week 12? Week 12 recap?
hmm
Yep. All right, cool. So what's the first game you got?
So week 12, we could talk about a nail biter. We had Washington and Oregon State come down to the wire with a 2-point victory by the Huskies.
That was a good game, man. I really thought the Beavers would do it, man. I thought they were gonna do it, man. That's a tough team to really kind of get like a feel for. I want DJU to like go pro because like I really felt like him and Bryce Young were gonna be like the two guys in the draft, and they both had different storylines, right? So Bryce will be what, year two when if
hmm
he stays in for next year. So I kind of want to see him stay, man, because I felt like they could really build something in Oregon State, man. At least, like longevity in college football isn't what it used to be. So, seeing somebody, as like a Cam Newton come in 1 year and win a national championship, or somebody like Joe Burrow coming there and win a national championship. Well, he had 2 years, but one really, really
hmm
big year, right? And it would be cool, to see him kind of do something like that at Oregon State, man, because it's been a while, man. I mean, last time I really paid attention to Oregon State, man, was when they had the Rogers brothers or twins, and they
hmm
were running roughshod through the Pac-10 at the time. So it's good to see them back in the news, man. But I really thought they was gonna beat Washington. But hey, man, Michael Penix, man, gosh, he has a great deep ball, man. Did you see that? Like,
He's got a soft touch, and he can put a
yeah,
freaking
like
zip
he
on. Yeah,
just,
RPMs on the ball is crazy.
yeah, like it's like he throws the ball like effortless. And these are not like, I would want to say like he's struggling to throw. Like it's all natural. And
Nothing
it
like
looked like,
it's kind of like Caleb Williams esque and just slinging it.
well, I think Caleb Williams has the benefit of some really good receivers at times,
Hmm.
but they both have like really, really strong arms, man. And
Hmm.
like, and it's like Phoenix has finally like turned into a whole different player, man. Like he was more of a scrambler at Indiana, right? And that kind of got him in trouble a lot. But now since he's learned how to be a complete passer, man, he's looking like really good, man. Like surgical good, you know? Like,
Bona fide first round pick, good.
yeah, like he's looking like he could really help somebody out next year. And take somebody's starting job next year, man. Cause I think he's really good, man. Wherever he goes in the draft next year, he should come out. He's going top 15. If he
Hmm.
slips anywhere, he's getting a starting job somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised, man. Whoever gets him is gonna be they're gonna have to fight for their job. Unless it's somebody like you know, up there. Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, somebody hurts that's a made man, right? But like if they slip up, like if he goes to a contender and the person slips up, they in trouble. They might not get their job back, bro. That's how good he is.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he's a humble guy. So I think that might rub somebody the right way and they might
Hmm.
actually trade up and get him. Somebody like Arizona who trying to move away from Kyler Murray. So somebody they could move up and not get Caleb Williams because they
They
don't
could
want to
trade
be
back and get more assets and end up drafting him.
exactly. So you never know. You never know, man. The draft is a crazy time, man. So, but that game was good, man. Do you see the receiver though from Washington, number one? Like he making some headlines too of being like everybody
Hmm.
talking about Marvin Harrison Jr., right? But dude, Oduze, he's good, man. He's
They were talking
good.
about him in the preseason.
Yeah, he's good, man. Like really good. So it's important, man, to really kind of look at this because this is where people kind of make their draft stock, right? And people choose where to stay and go. But
Hmm.
I think he could make a run for that first receiver spot, man. Because you remember last year, Drake London, or a couple years ago, Drake London was the first guy, and I don't know if that was the draft with your boy Jefferson in it. I don't
Yeah, I'm
know.
pretty sure that's the same draft class.
Yeah, so Jefferson I thought was a better receiver in my opinion, especially from the route running aspect of things. I thought he was a better receiver because I admit I didn't watch many USC games, but Drake London was a gamer, bro. And that's kind of how I see this draft going, man. Anybody could go top of the draft, man. So it's really wide open. I like it like this, because it keep you on your toes, especially when we get into our draft talk. You know what I'm saying? We can really get into it, so yeah, man. But it was a good game, man. Really good game. I really enjoyed watching that, man. I was supposed to be doing some work, but I wasn't trying to.
Okay. So speaking on that, we might as well talk about Michigan and Maryland because I thought that was going to be a big matchup and it ended up living up to the hype and being pretty close. And a lot of people probably didn't think it was going to be, but I think me and you could agree that we've been kind of high on Maryland even since the preseason.
Yeah, man. I mean, Maryland is one of those teams, man, that is like they just one piece away, one big recruiting class away. Like
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of talent, man. That Maryland, Virginia, DC area is just loaded with players, man. Loaded, underrated hotbed, in my opinion. Like everybody looks at Florida, Texas, California, but that Virginia, Maryland, and DC area is crazy talented. Crazy. Like Alabama's got a bunch of players from there. Like people that play on Sunday now is from that area. You know what I'm saying? So I mean a lot of players, a lot of good coaches, man. It's a good area to really, that in Pennsylvania and Ohio, those are pretty good areas too for talent. You know what I'm saying? So um I think they're one piece away, man. Like I said, Tulia is really good. I think that was a perfect place for him to go with Mike Loxley there. It's a perfect place, man. He molded him into the quarterback that, could be on somebody's NFL team. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be drafted somewhere because somebody's gonna need a quarterback. So I think he's played well enough through his tenure there to be drafted, man. No doubt about that. So but the game itself was really interesting, man, because if you look at like, Maryland, like they're, trying to play spoiler to a lot of teams, right? I mean, they were close to beating Ohio State, man, and they were close to beat Michigan, the two big schools, you know what I'm saying? So um it's a close game, man. It's really cool to see Michigan though kind of galvanize their team with Harbaugh not being there. So that's pretty good, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna feel the same, obviously, because he's the head guy. But it was good to see them come together and win a close game because they got a big one this week, so they gonna really need each other. So I thought it was a good game,
Mm-hmm.
and I like Mike Loxley. So anybody that coached at Bama, I want to see him succeed, man. So like I said, you come to Coach Saban's rehab, we want to see you succeed on your second chance, man. So far, we doing pretty good if you really want to go through the list, man. Bush Jones is at um Arkansas State. You got who's in there? We had Mel Tucker. He was doing good at first. um,
Mm-hmm.
but
Lane Kiffin,
Lane Kiffin, Sarkeesian, Billy
Kirby Smart.
Napier, Cristobal. So everybody doing pretty good, man. That left the rehab, Mike Loxley. So yeah, there's people who leave. They're doing pretty good, man. So like I said, it's really cool to see them doing that. So I just hope Mike Loxley, because he's from that area, so he's gonna have his team together, man. So when they expand the Big Ten to bring in all those Western teams, it's just gonna make it a lot more open. I don't think this might be. I'm not gonna say the last year of it being heavy Ohio State, Michigan, but when they bring in those Western schools, like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be tougher for those two teams to get there.
Yeah, because the other teams are Power Five, dude, like 5, 6 star programs. Oregon, Washington, USC, even UCLA. That's going to benefit them moving conferences too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And as you go Midwest, like you get most of your linemen from there. Like that's where your
Mm-hmm.
country boys are. So
Mm-hmm.
um you're gonna everybody's probably gonna benefit from that, at least a little bit, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes them more of an option. You know what I'm saying? So like, so I think it'd be good. I can't wait till they get that expansion going, man. So we'll see, man. Like college football conferences are gonna look real different. So
Mm-hmm.
I expect that to be a tough conference, man. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Uh, a really surprise game was Florida and Missouri, man. As you guys know, Missouri's really exceeded expectations. They've grown in the last couple of years at a very increasingly high rate. Uh, and
MIZ,
Florida, man,
baby.
started out the year Florida started out the year really struggling. Out the gate, there were a lot of rumors that Billy Napier wasn't even going to make it to the halfway point. And man, like, team's really talented, man. He's a hell of a
He
recruiter, like
did.
he said before.
He did.
And they're starting to storm back, man. I mean, they brought LSU down to the wire until LSU's talent just won them that game. But, man, Florida comes up short, man. They lose 31-30, not 31-30, 33-31 in a nail biter where Florida almost pulled off a big, big upset, man.
I mean, yeah, man, had me on the edge of my seat, man. I was sitting there like, oh man, this game is getting close, man. I don't want them to lose this game, man. I want to stay in the top 10, because that'll be good for recruiting, you know what I'm saying? And then, the transfer portal as well. So, you get a top 10 season, in the SEC is pretty good, man. So
Mhm,
your only losses this year would have been to Georgia and LSU at this point. So I mean,
mhm.
you can't go wrong with that.
You're
You
in good
losing,
company.
yeah, you losing to a potential team that has a Heisman winner, and you losing to a team that could win 3 straight national championships. So, and keep in mind that the game that you played against them were the closest games they played all year to this point, both
Pretty
times.
much.
So I think it's good for a recruit, man. I think Eli Drinkwitz is really good there, man. Like I was kind of nervous because I was like, I don't really know his philosophy for real, coming from Appalachian
Mhm,
State. But because I mean, we've always been a heavy 5 wide type team. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
We run the zone read run. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what our thing is, right? So I was kind of worried, but man, I like our concepts, man. I mean, I think referee wise, we've gotten kind of shafted a few times, but I think we can score on any team in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Especially with good quarterback play. You
Brady
know,
Cook.
yeah, man, Brady Cook has become like SEC legend in Columbia, because I mean the last few years he's had like 3,000 passing yards. You know what I'm saying? So like he's like I don't think he's up there with Matty Mock or well not Matty Mock but James I forgot his last name, but he was really good too. So he has some work to get to the Chase Daniels and Blaine Gabbert
Mhm,
type of plays, but or Drew Lock to be honest with you, 'cause Drew Lock is
mhm.
like third all time in passing yards in SEC history. So so it's like he's up there. So he's got a long time to get there, but I think he's done as far as eligibility is concerned. But but like I said, it's been a good run, man. I think this is the best year that Mizzou's had since they got into the SEC, man. Because
Definitely.
they won those first 2 East titles. So, it was pretty cool. It was exciting, but it was kind of a culture shock for a lot of teams. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
Like I said, the first year in the SEC was rough because obviously the competition was a step up. But year 2 and 3, when they won the East, it was a culture shock. It was like, dude, we faster than everybody in this conference right now because we got all these Big 12 guys. So it's like, why don't we just use them and just run past everybody? And it worked. You know what I'm saying? So and then, obviously, coaching changes here or there, and then people recruiting, and then you got to get better at recruiting. So it's been a little rough. We went through
mhm.
Pinkle and then Barry Odom, and then now we got Drinkwitz. So I think it's really cool, man. I think we're in a good spot, man. Like to really, stake claim to like that third team in the East. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be Georgia and Tennessee's right there. But after that, it's kind of wide open. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You
They're
put
they're right there, bro. I mean, we're
Mizzou
talking
right
about
there.
that. We're talking about that though, but I think if Florida gives Napier just a little bit longer, he'll have them in that same conversation, man, because they could have packed it in
Man,
earlier in the season, and they've been playing a hell of a lot better football. The offense has been rolling. Their defense has been really opportunistic, and they're really talented, man. And if anybody can do it, he can. They just need to give him a little bit more time. Like, give him until next year. Let him run the table and see where they're at. But I
Yeah,
definitely think
man.
they're gonna be in the same conversation.
Yeah, man. Like Florida is a really good spot, man. I mean, you're already in Florida, so you're getting a lot of talent. So it's not like it's gonna be hard for them to get good again. Just like,
Hmm.
dude, you gotta table your expectations, man, a little bit. Because like you wanna beat Georgia, right? You know, you wanna win the East and everything. But it's hard to do that when you don't have good quarterback play. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know. I felt like Nate, like I always say on this show, man, if you follow this show, I'd say that Billy Napier should have taken a lower Power Five job first, you know, because this job's in between UL Monroe and Florida. It's jobs between that you can cut your teeth at and really kind of grow as a head coach. I thought it was a big jump. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Brian Harson at Auburn. Like that was a big jump. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a different ball game. Now it's more people that can make decisions for you and you're the head coach. You know what I'm saying? Now when you win, you can tell those people to shut up and get out your office.
Yeah, but when
But
you
when
losing,
but
that's
when you losing, it starts to become a lot more people in your office than you used to. So right now, I just think Napier's going through the same thing. But I think if he finds an adequate quarterback that can kind of fit his system, I think he'd be good. Because wasn't he there when Richardson was there?
yeah.
Yeah,
Because this is what his this isn't his third season, is it? No.
third or
Yeah.
fourth, something like that.
No, because he took this guy. No, I don't know because I feel like he took this job because he was in contention to get the LSU job at one point. He turned it down. I
That was
think it's his
stupid.
second full
That
season.
was stupid. I would have took LSU, man. Shoot, forget all that. But I mean, shoot, hey, look, it's levels to that. Like Florida and LSU is like not the same program either. Like
Mm-mm.
not really. Like it's levels to that. Like, dude, that's like Florida's a higher power five job, bro. But LSU is like top 10 in the nation type job, bro. Like you can't do that. Not ready. You're not ready for that, bro. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Like I get they throw a lot of money at you, but the perfect person for that job was exactly who they got. Brian Kelly. Like you need somebody with some grays in their hair to take a job like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, bro. Like you just can't do it, man. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you see, man, you see that all the time. Dudes taking jobs like, oh man, it's a great promotion, but dude, you ain't ready. You're just not ready for it, man. And you hate it
Mm-hmm.
because it's like they stunt their growth a little bit, and you never see them again after that. But it's like, dude, sometimes, man, it's an opportunity. Yes, I get it, but sometimes you gotta say no and just get it how you've been doing it. You know, the grind of coaching, right? Like just get the job here, get the job there, do what you gotta do, man. So like I said,
Mm-hmm.
but the game itself was good, man. It was a really good
Yeah.
game. Our kicker is gonna be drafted, bro. He's gonna be drafted, man. He's got a leg on
He's
him.
good. Besides, like them couple of kicks that he missed against LSU, but for the most part, I mean, he's been spot on all year.
Yeah, man. We had a lot more problems in that game than we couldn't stop Jaden Daniels, man. So I'm like,
Mhm.
like whatever, dude.
Well, if we're gonna talk about that, it's not gonna be a homer, but I think that this can lead into a deeper discussion before we do a preview, and that's LSU Georgia State. The game itself, you really don't have to go crazy in depth about. Man, he went bananas.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy broke a record. He's taken the college football scene by storm, and
yeah,
LSU's playing good football, man. Defensively, I think they're still trying to figure things out.
yeah.
I don't know if Matt House is going to be there next year, man. The drop off where defense was at last year compared to this year is night and day. They cannot. They don't adjust on defense. Just like when we played Florida, Mertz was hitting slants and dump offs over the middle of the field the entire game, and it just feels like the defense could not adjust. Like they didn't have the people in the right positions, or we were dropping back in the coverage, and they were leaving everything wide open. So I mean, that'll be something to keep your eye on. But just offensively, they're a top 3 to top 5 unit in the country. Nobody can stop. Not many people that can stop that explosive offense just between running the ball and throwing the ball. It's pretty tough, man. And man, he's definitely put his stake in the ground for New York. Obviously, it's been like that for the last month or so. I don't think you can deny it, and a lot of people lose sight of what the Heisman Trophy really stands for. Best player doesn't always play on the very best team. We're hearing a lot of names between him and Bo Nix and Michael Penix, and for some reason, we're still hearing Marvin Harrison Jr., which I think that's not a discussion at all.
Ludicrous.
But if I'm just gonna get into that really quick, yeah, Knicks has played really well, but I think their strength of schedule has not been as tough. Like they played some good teams, nonetheless. You played Oregon State, you played Washington, you played talented teams. But I just think, yeah, LSU's got 3 losses. But man, if you take Knicks off of Oregon, you take Daniels off of LSU, which team's gonna struggle more? LSU, because their defense is horrendous. So the fact that they've managed to still hold off only having 3 losses because of quarterback play and the way the offense is ran, I think that speaks more dividends towards him and his game and what he's been able to put on the field for the team as well. So I mean, he's got my lock right now. I don't obviously we're not voters. We don't have any pull, unfortunately. But I just hope that the committee and when they start looking at these things, I hope they don't look entirely just based off of team, because at the end of the day, like it's not a team award, it's an individual award. And who's gonna be the best college player in the country? And as of right now, I feel like he's definitely solidified himself in that top 2 or 3 people for sure.
Yeah, like I said, man, shout out to Sean Elliott, man, the coach of Georgia State, man. He was at South Carolina when Spurrier left, right? And he had that
Mm-hmm.
team rolling. I think they almost beat Clemson that year. So that was pretty good, man. So I was happy to see him get another shot, at being a head coach, man. And Georgia State's actually been pretty good the last few years, man. At least
Mm-hmm.
8 wins like every year or something
Yeah,
like that since
they're
he's been
relevant.
gone. Yeah, so I think they've been really good. I don't know what conference they're in, but they've been really good.
They're in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, so they've been really good. So shout out to Deshaun Elliott and Georgia State, man, because he's got them guys rolling, man. But to get into the Heisman talk, man, look, man, the Heisman is such a beauty contest, honestly, man. It's not what it used to be. And
Mm-hmm.
it really never has been like that. It's always been a beauty contest, man. Because the person that should win never wins. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of lost its luster to me in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because some years they get it right, and it's like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
We think we back on track, right? But then some years, man, we just people go to New York that really shouldn't be there anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I really don't know what to expect this year, but I mean Daniels has been out of this world, right? But at the same time, um, he's not gonna have the opportunity, like I said before we got on here, that Bo Nix is.
He's not gonna get that extra game.
He's gonna have an extra game, man. And that extra game is probably what got Bryce Young his Heisman. The fact that we could beat Georgia like that. Like that was a Heisman moment. He tore Georgia apart. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Henry, when he won his Heisman, he tore Florida apart in that SEC championship game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it does mean something, man. I mean, it really does. Now, like that extra game is like another set of eyes for like,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's close like this year, because I feel like people are on Daniel's side, right? But the fact that they lost 3 games, it's like, well, maybe he's not the best player, right? And then you look at Bo Nix, he's got the #1 offense in the country, right? And to maybe in terms of scoring, right? Scoring, maybe not yards per game, but scoring, they are #1, man. They've been lighting dudes up. and has a lot to do with him. So if they get a matchup with Washington in the title game and they win,
Oh yeah, that'll put him over because
yeah,
they're gonna
that
say,
would,
"Oh, you beat Phoenix."
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And Phoenix isn't out of the question either
I
because
think it's
if,
mainly between them three.
yeah, because if he balls out, then it's like, oh man, now you talking about Daniels having one of the best seasons and finishing third because now both of them done had a crazy game back and forth.
Hmm
So it's I think it's a three quarterback race. I would say that Daniels is going to New York. I would say Penix is going to New York, and I say Bo Nix or the winner of that game is going to New York because I don't know if they would send both of them, but they both been playing lights out, man.
hmm
Caleb Williams is going to be there anyway because he won last year. So it's not really like he's going to be there as a contestant or a candidate. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I expect Jalen Milroe to get at least one vote or two because I think he's
hmm
been killing it as far as his maturation process. I expect him to get a few votes here or there.
hmm
But as far as like receivers, I mean, maybe Washington receiver gets some vote. But I don't think, or neighbors too. Neighbors could get a couple votes. I expect him to probably win a Bolitnikov. I expect him or Luther Burden to be in that conversation for the Bolitnikov this year. But I don't think a receiver is gonna get it. Not for a while. I think
No,
I think Smitty at Alabama was probably the last one for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
you gotta do exactly what Smitty was doing to win it. Like almost make your quarterback look better than he does. Like
hmm
you gotta make your quarterback look good. I mean, and that's what Smitty did that year. That's what Desmond Howard did that year. You know what I'm saying? He made his quarterback look good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think a receiver's gonna win a Heisman for a while, but I do think I think it's a three-horse race for real right now.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? I don't see Milrow getting in there. It's like that's what our fan base is kind of talking about. They're talking about, Milrow kind of getting in there in that conversation of late, which is warranted. Like he deserves some votes, but he would have to beat Georgia and have the game of his life to get an invite to New York. You know,
hmm
I'm talking about the game of his life. We're talking four rushing touchdowns and two passing, like maybe eight touchdowns.
He would have to have a Jaden Daniels game. He would have to
Yeah,
have a
man.
game like that.
And I don't know. I expect that to be a war. It's gonna be a war between two really powerhouse teams, man. And I expect us to be amped up, man. Like, and it's gonna be crazy, man. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that game
Well, I
as we get
mean,
closer to
if you're already talking about them, you might as well get into the Iron Bowl. Give your
yeah,
thoughts.
so
What
we get
you think
into
about that matchup?
what that week 13 preview.
Yep.
So obviously, I'm an Alabama fan, so I don't like playing at Jordan Hare. I think it's a voodoo house. They do some crazy stuff up in there, man. I don't know if they put LSD on the field and have people just high off angel dust or something, because that stuff that happens in that stadium is out of this world, man. Like, bruh, I mean, we've seen teams just fall apart in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Bermuda Triangle or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you just don't know what to do, man. But I expect this Iron Bowl to kind of go our way. Just because the talent is different. It's like not the same. Usually with Gus Malzahn, there you had like the talent wasn't like even, but the scheme was. So
hmm
every year he would have a different scheme, same playbook, just different ways to attack teams. So,
hmm
but he could scheme a win anytime he wanted to, for real. if you kept him in the game, he could win any game against anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but I don't know. I think this year would be all right. We think next year will be tougher than this year for sure, because I think Hugh Freeze is gonna have another year to recruit, and he's a recruiter, man. Dude is nice, man. So he like one of the only dudes to beat Nick Saban 2 times in a row. So you know what I'm saying. So it's he's tough, man. He's tough. So I expect him to bring his A game. But I mean, shoot, last year they ran for like 300 yards with Cadillac Williams coaching them. So I mean, anything's possible, dude. So I don't put nothing past the
Mhm.
Iron Bowl, but you know, I'm roll tide all day. But I don't like that place, bro. I don't like it at all.
Mhm. What what you think about Cam Ward traveling to Washington to take on Michael Penix? That's a big game.
It is, man. It's a big game, man. But Washington has got too much for him, man. Remember what
That's
I
what I'm
said?
saying. They can't handle. I think we had
Yeah,
the same discussion when they played Oregon early in the season.
yeah. Remember when I said that against Oregon, man? Like Oregon just had too much for them. Like that's
Hmm.
exactly the same thing. They just got way too much for them, man.
Hmm.
And it's okay. I think Cam Ward transfers again. I think he goes somewhere for that last year to really kind of boost his draft stock. I think he goes somewhere else. I don't know where that is. But I guarantee it's gonna be some SEC schools looking at him if he wants to transfer. Because I mean, it's cool now to transfer. I mean, back when we was growing up, it wasn't really the cool thing to do, but now it's
Hmm.
okay because you getting it, especially if you're a high profile player at a small school. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get your name out there. You know what I'm saying? Shoot,
Hmm.
Mizzou got it with Schrader. He was at Division 2 a couple years ago. Now he's probably gonna be the leading rusher in the SEC this year. So it's like you sometimes you gotta do your thing, you know. So I
Hmm.
think it'll be I think Washington wins, but I don't expect it to be like a boat race though. I expect them to
Yeah.
win probably like 35-21, something like in that
Yeah.
range.
They just don't have enough weapons to be able to go blow for blow with them. They've got too
Yeah,
much.
man, because you can only do so much, man. Like we're not talking about Auburn and Cam Newton, right? To where you got this otherworldly quarterback that just nullifies everything everybody else is doing because they can't stop him. You know what I'm saying? Cam Ward is good, but he ain't that good. Not to do
Hmm.
that type of, not to pull an upset like this. It's some maturation he needs to have as a passer, you know, because he
Hmm.
feels like he still thinks that he can make every throw when you should just check it down or throw it away.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So once he gets to that maturation process, he'll be a really good quarterback because he's really good. He's a really good player. Like he's
Yeah.
really, really good, man. So we'll see. I don't know, but it's not going to be a boat race.
So we just talking about quarterbacks. If you guys have been hiding under a rock, obviously you guys saw a really ugly injury last week. Jordan Travis is out for the season. Man, took a really bad twist. Man, his leg is shot. He's out for the season. This week they got to go to Gainesville, go to the Swamp to take on Billy Napier and the Gators. Man, their backup quarterback didn't look too bad in that last game, but man, they got to go down to a real hostile SEC environment. Man, what do you think about that game?
Well, you know, I've been high on Jordan Travis all year, so he was my front runner for the Heisman until until like 2 weeks ago when he's like, because it was even 2 weeks ago, and then Jalen Daniels just decided to go crazy. So, but it's gonna hurt him. I don't know if it hurts him against Florida, but like I said before we got on here, Florida's a hungry team. Like I think they hear all the outside noise that Napier might be fired, and I think they genuinely love their coach because sometimes you know you have a coaching staff in there. Like I'll never forget the coach before the one that's at Washington right now. Like they went like 1-11 or something. Like their team completely mailed it in. You know what I'm saying? There was some talented people on that team. Some people that's still on the team right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see that they're not mailing it in. Which I
Mm-hmm.
think if you're the boosters and things like that in Florida, you got to take note of that. Like, okay, like the season isn't going the way we wanted to do, but they're actually playing for this guy. You know
They're
what I'm saying?
fighting for bowl eligibility.
Yeah, like they're actually not mailing it in. Like, oh well, I'm a transfer anyway because he gone. You know what I'm saying? They actually feel like they believe in it. And rivalry week is one of those weeks that could go haywire for anybody, any given Saturday.
It's true.
So I'm not gonna say Florida State's gonna lose, but the fact that Jordan Travis is not playing this game could get a little spicy.
And it's in Gainesville, dude. It's not in
Yeah,
Tallahassee.
and the
That's a
swamp,
big
the
dude. Like
swamp
people
get
sleep.
loud, man.
The
Swamp get
swamp is up there with Kyle Field and Death Valley and all. Like it's up there. Like it's
yeah, man.
hostile.
So I
And you don't have your shot caller. You don't have your shot caller running that offense. That can make a difference, man. Someone can get rattled, and they
a
get some
big
momentum. They can
difference.
run away with it. You never know.
Everybody's comfortable at home, man. But when you're on the road and you ain't really played that much, it's gonna be tough, man. So they didn't look good with him early against Northern
Hmm.
Alabama, which completely shocked me. I'm glad the committee dropped them in the rankings, dude. Because I was like, bro, no, man, I don't care. If your quarterback hurt, whatever, you can't be messing with no Northern Alabama, man. Because imagine if they would
Hmm.
have lost that game. Imagine if they would have lost that game. Like you would have been over with. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no. So I'm glad
Hmm.
I'm glad they dropped him. But this game could get a little spicy. I think that this could be one of those upset picks that you don't want to officially say, but you
But
watch
you
it.
think in your head it could definitely happen.
Yeah, but you watch it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you talking about upset alert. Man, they got Oregon State going to Eugene and taking on Oregon. They barely lost to Washington. I think me and you were talking about it earlier on. Man, DJU going blow for blow with Bo Nix, man. I think this game could go down to the wire. I think Oregon State has a chance to run the table and knock them off. And if Oregon State knocks off Oregon at home, those rankings are gonna get flipped over on his head, bro. That's a big deal because now they're completely out of that conversation. And if he takes a loss to Oregon State, who knows how that's going to affect him in the Heisman race either. But what do you think?
I think that DJU is this is the quarterback that he wanted to be at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able, like not I don't have to run all the time. I can
Mm-hmm.
be a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I'm really a big guy. I don't need to run all the time. Like, can't nobody sack me. I'm big. I'm big. I can stand here and throw the ball. I don't need to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not Trevor Lawrence. I don't need to run. I don't need to do that. I'm big. Okay. Let me pass the ball in the pocket. Let me beat some people up here. I can do it. And I think that's something that is gonna help them, man. And I think their O line is really underrated, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think they could really road grade um Oregon and make it a tighter game in terms of time of possession. Because what Oregon has been doing, what I've seen, is they've been racing like they used to with Chip Kelly a little bit. Not as
Mm-hmm.
fast, but they rack up points real fast and they make you change your game plan, right? But if you don't give them the ball often, like turnovers or three and outs,
Yeah, you're controlling the tempo.
exactly. So now they have to go into a place where they're not really comfortable. And I think that's where Oregon State can get them because Oregon State has a tendency to pick the pace up. They can
Mm-hmm.
slow it down and then they pick it back up at times, especially when they got somebody down. Like they pick it up and they get aggressive with it. And
Mm-hmm.
I like they running back too. I like Washington, not Washington, but Oregon's running back stable too. So they have some good names. But I think it's gonna be. I actually think Oregon State could win this game, bro. I think people
Oh,
not.
dude, I definitely see it.
I don't think people are really seeing how good DJU is. Like when he came from St. John Bosco's, this is what we was hoping for. You know what I'm saying? Because you knew he was big. Like he knew he was big already, right? But now he's like, like a Big Ben s quarterback. Like, he can extend plays because he's like strong. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
like, I think that might be he's gonna be the difference maker, man. So when I said like Cam Ward, like in our last little bit, that Cam Ward doesn't make the plays that you need to make sometimes.
DJU can
DJU's
make
not
those
like that.
plays.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's the type of quarterback that can win you a game like this. Because he's not gonna make decisions that you don't need to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, erratic decisions.
And he can take a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? He can stand there and take those hits that um Dan Lanning's gonna throw at him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna have to stand there to make those throws. Because you can't run all the time. Sometimes you just gotta take it and make the throw. You know what I'm saying? So and I
Mm-hmm.
think he's more equipped to do that than other guys, just because he has the sheer size that he does. So I think it's gonna be tough, but I think Oregon State can get it, man, because he gonna make some good throws in this game that's gonna win the game for them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Key third downs. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's gonna be the issue, the big thing in this game for Oregon State. Third downs. If they can have a good third down ratio, man, I think they can beat them. They don't have to really score a lot of points to beat them, especially if you keep the
Oregon
ball
State's got
away.
a good defense too, man.
Yeah, man, they
Like
do.
they've got a good defense, and man, like I'll say this: I'll go out on a whim and say I'll pick Oregon State to get the upset. But let me tell you, if they don't win, well, let me tell you, it's gonna scare the hell out of freaking Bo Nixon's squad because I'm telling you, this game is so much closer than what people are talking about. I don't feel like anybody's talking about this game. Oh, well, it's just gonna be another big game for Bolton. Man, that's not guaranteed, dude. That team's hungry. They want to knock them out, bro.
Nah, and I don't know what the rankings are, but if you're talking about the Pac-12 rankings, I don't know if they still do divisions over there or is it the top two teams? Because
I'd be lying if I told you. Me and you, like, we pay attention to that, but I don't know if they're still
I
doing
don't know
like East,
either.
West, or Coastal, or
Because
this or
if
that.
that's the case, if they're going off the top two teams, um, Oregon
It
State still
might
has a
be,
shot. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
because Oregon already lost to Washington, so
Yeah, so you
that'd
never
be
know,
that'd
man.
be two conference losses.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. That's interesting. Let me look that up real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, because that actually interests me a little bit because yeah, man, because I like the Pac-12, man. I'm gonna miss it when it goes away, man, because like man, the Pac-12 was kind of our childhood, man. Reggie Bush, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
pretty much. I think we kind of took it
USC.
for granted, or didn't think it was really worth talking about as much. And now we're like, dang, well, now it's gone, and it's actually getting good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of good things, you know what I'm saying? So,
I'm not sure if they do divisions or not, though. It's a very good question.
all right, so what I'm reading, right? I'm trying to make sure. So it's like 3 hours ago. So, shout out to Jake Curtis for this article, right? All right, if you out there. So, um, so what I'm seeing is, so Oregon State would have to beat Oregon on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And it says it's possible that the beat. Well, okay, it's going into that, right? So, all right. So it says Arizona would have to beat Arizona State, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it said if both of those come. to fruition. It says that Arizona would tie Oregon for second place, and Arizona would be the tiebreaker and get to the title game against Washington.
So So what my thinking is, if Arizona loses, does that mean, or is Oregon State not even in it at all?
I don't think Oregon State is in it because they have they have 3 conference losses.
Oh well, then they playing to spoil Oregon season then, and that's a dangerous team to be playing, especially when they're
Yeah,
talented like that. Now I'm even more convinced that they've got a really legit shot because they want to spoil Bo Nix's Heisman campaign.
yeah. So and then technically, I think Washington might be in it anyway, even if they did
Yeah,
lose.
they haven't lost a game yet, so
Yeah. So, but I mean, gosh, that could change everything because why say Washington loses to Washington State, right?
yeah. And
Now
what if Oregon's in the game?
both of your Pac-12 teams are out,
Oh yeah, they dropping out the top four.
right? So
Both of them,
now,
because the teams are far enough back to where it'll drop you out.
yep. So yeah, but yeah, it says that Arizona can win a Pac-12 title berth if Oregon loses. So I was
Well,
like, dang. So shout out Jake Curtis. What what publication was that, man? Uh Jake Curtis from Sports Illustrated for the article. Uh but yeah, man, that's interesting. So I don't know if they do the divisions. So I don't think that's divisions. So, because
I don't think so.
yeah, because that would be the top 2 teams. So
Hmm.
but it'll be interesting, man. Interesting, man.
Yeah.
So but
So we got one game left to talk about. It's the
one more
game that
game.
everybody's been
Okay.
talking about. Oh, what you got?
No. I was like, what's next? I was like, okay, because
Oh yeah,
we went off the rails for a bit.
yeah, yeah. You're good. I mean, hey, sometimes you gotta delve deeper and get better understanding. I mean, sometimes the viewers want to understand too. I mean, I don't think me and you knew, so now we have a better understanding, and I hope
Yeah,
they do
yeah,
win. But
yeah. Me too,
yeah, I
man.
mean, the last game we're going to talk about, man, is the game that everybody's been talking about since we made our first video in biggest matchup of the year. I mean, not from my perspective, but from a cultural standpoint, from the nation standpoint, this game has a lot of star power, and it's a top 3 matchup, man. It's Ryan Day going to the big house to take on Harbaugh's Michigan Wolverines, man. Whoever wins this game, it's pretty much a lock for the playoff unless something crazy happens in the Big Ten title game. And what do
Yeah,
you think, man? Ohio
yeah.
State at Michigan,
The Big
Big Ten
12 title
matchup, bro.
game. The Big Ten title game when they playing Northwestern or something like that. It's so
Yeah,
stupid.
unfortunately.
That's so stupid, bro. Hold on,
Hey,
let me
going
see.
into it,
Let me
the
see
crazy
who.
thing, yeah.
Let
The
me see who
crazy thing
plays
is,
in this
though,
game.
hey, at least you'll know this. After this year, you won't have to worry about that no more
Yeah,
because
man, but
now
I'm
you'll have
still
another
curious,
4. Like,
man. The Big Ten
let's see, Big
conference
Ten
rankings, man.
rankings.
I'm still
Let's see.
curious, because
Okay,
I gotta see
so
who
let's
they're
see.
gonna play. Who would they play this year,
Let's see.
man?
East. No, where's the Big Ten? I just had it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So as of right now, if the season ends, oh, it's gonna be Iowa, dude. They're playing Iowa's
Oh
9-2 and it's
God,
6-2.
not
Iowa
again!
can't Iowa can't score no points,
Oh
man. Their
my
offense.
God, not again! Oh my God, not again! This is so stupid. Oh my God, like why?
Cade McNamara, they're on a 3-game win streak, but
I mean,
Iowa's
yeah, but
notorious for not
who
scoring
have
on
they
offense.
played?
Let's see. They beat
Jeez.
Illinois, they beat Rutgers, they beat Northwestern, they
Like,
lost to Minnesota.
look at these scores, man. They won 10-7.
Dang. Boy, Penn State beat the brakes off of them way earlier, like 31-0. They beat
Bruh, like
Kentucky, they beat Nebraska.
they beat Rutgers 21-0. Whoop de doo. And then you score
Dang.
15. You
Against
score 15
Wisconsin.
against Illinois. Like, bro. This is ridiculous. Oh my
because
god.
they don't. They're abysmal on offense, but
Abysmal. Abysmal,
it's
bro. This is
normal.
horrible,
But before we start ragging on Iowa, I think we have a bigger fish to fry.
bro. This is horrible, man. And these dudes are 9-2 though. That's the
What I'm
thing.
saying.
They're 9-2 and they don't score
The
no
next
point.
closest team, the next closest team is a team who lost their head coach right before the regular season started. So I
Bro,
mean,
how crazy was that? Like, bro, we getting ready for
crazier
the
than me
season.
picking,
How do
crazier
you
than me
go
freaking
to your
picking.
players? How do you go to your players in a situation like that and say, "Okay, players, um, yeah, we fired your coach, and your game's next week though." Like, how can you talk to the players and say that? Like, bro,
Crazier than my pick for Wisconsin to win the East because they didn't show up this year the way I thought they would.
well, they get them about a year or two, like, because
Yeah,
Luke Fickle's good, man. He's an
yeah.
underrated
I
coach.
had higher expectations because of the quarterback play. That was it.
Yeah, yeah. I thought if I'm looking at the rankings again, I thought that out of the West division, out of those teams, I think I was talking about
I think you picked
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, yeah, that was my team. I thought they was gonna be all right. Actually, you know what? It's probably Illinois and Northwestern before they fired their coach. Those gonna probably be my two teams out the West.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think Iowa was really gonna be anything for real. But hey, here they are, man. They got a showdown with either Michigan or Ohio State, man. So getting into this game, the game,
Mm-hmm.
um, this is big. Like I said, I don't think you fired Ryan Day because I mean, like, dude, like y'all literally only lost like 2 games the last 5 years or some crazy number like that. It's not too bad. I would take that more so than like 1-7 or something like that. Like then we gotta like okay, it's a hot seat. But like no, dude. Like you just gotta fix a few
You got to
things here
figure
or
out how
there.
to beat them.
Yeah, man. I mean, Michigan got your number. Like that's what make a rivalry when the other side wins, especially a few times in a row. But this would be big for Michigan though, because winning 3 in a row, that's
That's a
huge
big
for
deal.
recruiting in that area. That's
Oh,
huge.
they're gonna lose some recruits for sure. Michigan gonna flip a
Yeah,
bunch of those guys.
yeah, man. So it's a big game, man. I think that Marvin Harrison is the X factor of this game, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know we may not be talking about him for the Heisman, but
But he's still.
as far as being a baller and somebody that you have to that nobody can guard him. I hate to see practice because I don't think nobody on their team can guard him. You know what I'm saying? So I know nobody from Michigan can guard him. So I expect him to go off, man. Like I don't think nobody can guard him, man. Like you just gonna have to just call it what it is, right? But what Michigan can do to counteract that, right, is to just control the ball like they normally do. Like
Yeah.
I've been really disappointed in how they've used Donovan Edwards this year. Like he doesn't get a lot of carries, but he was big in this game last year. He's the reason why
Yeah.
they broke it open because he had like 2 80-yard runs at the end of the game. So um, I think they gotta get him touches to kind of keep Blake Corum fresh because they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
need Blake Corum later. But I feel like
Yeah,
if they but I feel
they're gonna
like
have to really rely on JJ too, bro. He's gonna have to have a good game because he didn't have a really good game last week.
yeah, 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 he didn't, especially against Penn State. He didn't have a good game against Penn State. I think he didn't even get 100 yards. Um, so yeah, he's gonna have to win in the passing game. But to salt the game away later, they're gonna have to use
Mm.
Edwards and Corum to really
Control.
shut it down. Like, cause you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to get into a shootout with Ohio State. because they
Mm-mm.
got too many receivers to choose from, and the fact that Travion Henderson is back just adds more fuel to their fire. So even if McCord isn't like the best quarterback that they've had there, I still think if he can get the ball to his receivers, you're in trouble and you don't need to be in
Mm.
trouble, right? So I would just man up on everybody, bro. I wouldn't even try to double Harrison. Like I wouldn't even do it because
Nope.
the receivers are too good to leave one-on-one coverage with anybody. I would just shift it wherever
You have
the
to play
strong side
zone.
is. Hmm.
You got to play zone and just
Yeah,
hope for
like
the best.
yeah, you gotta play like I would play zone over the top and man underneath, bro. Like
Yeah.
because that's the best way to do it. Like you can nullify the tight end, with the man, and then the zone will help you deep against Harrison and Oboka, I think
And-
that's his name.
yeah.
So yeah, so you gotta do that. But I think Michigan wins because of their defense, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's been reported all over the news that they're gonna have like 12 draft picks. Now I'm not saying 12 first rounders, but on their team collectively is like 12 draftable players. I don't know where I
Hmm.
read that from, but I've heard it a few times on many people's podcasts. So yeah, they have a legit team. Now, in terms of Ohio State, what you gonna do about this defense though? Because they're coming after you, and they have your number the last few years. So, and this isn't their best team offensively. So
Mm-mm.
let's not just throw that out there, right? They're not offensively great this year, but they stay in the game somehow. So, my thing is Michigan's defense is going to be really good, and I
Yeah.
expect them to win. But my question is, how much offense is they're going to generate? Because your defense can be good, but if they getting three and outs all the time, you're not going to be doing nothing. You know what I'm
They
saying?
got to control the ball on the ground. Like you said, if they can establish the run early and chew clock and control possession, that'll open up your play action game and open your pass game. And if they can score points and chew clock, dude, they can win this game. But if they let Ohio State hang in there and score points with them, it's not a good place to be in.
Yep. So I expect, like I said, I expect Michigan to show out and win this game, man. Because I think that if Bama doesn't get in, I think Michigan's probably the best team to knock off Georgia. The best
Hmm.
team. I don't think anybody else can do it. I think
Agreed.
no disrespect, but I think Washington is too soft for them.
Nah, they're not strong enough up front
Yeah, I
to
think
beat
they're too
them.
soft. I think that Florida State, if they got in, would be hampered by not having Travis. And then if we talk in Ohio State getting in, their
Mm-mm.
offense really just can't keep up with Georgia because
Mm-mm.
Georgia can get on you quick, man.
Your
Like they
defensive
don't
line's
play.
going to get pressure. Like that defensive line, and they can
Yeah.
rattle
So
that quarterback.
I think Georgia's more equipped to beat them because they can beat them up front. And McCarthy's an okay quarterback too. He's not terrible. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
having a capable quarterback is somebody that can beat Georgia. So that's the team I would pick besides Bama, beating them. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Because they are equipped to do it. Like for real. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, look, I know Michael Penix, their team might be a little soft compared to Georgia, but having a quarterback like Michael Penix makes a big difference.
It's true.
It makes a big difference. And if he balls out and hypothetically gets the Heisman, right? That's huge for confidence because
Oh
now
yeah.
because now I'm labeled as the best player this year. I got the hardware to prove it. Now let's try to win a national championship, man.
Yeah.
That can propel him to something really special this season, man. So you never know, man. We got a lot of football left, man. A whole lot. So But yeah,
True.
man, good. It's gonna be good, man. So I think that game goes to Michigan though.
I agree. I don't think it'll be by a whole lot, but I just think if they just play their brand of football, if they can get pressure on the quarterback and control that offense, and if Michigan's offense can just establish the run shoot clock and just score points, like I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree. That like I said, that Michigan was one of my playoff picks, so I wanted them. I
Game.
want them in there. You know what I'm saying? So, we got some work to do for my Tide, but man, look, it's we got a lot of football left, man. Believe it or not. So, like I said, we know that we gonna get a shot at Georgia. So either it's in a spoiler role or it's for a playoff spot. Either way,
Mhm.
we trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I look forward to seeing the Iron Bowl, man. It's always exciting. So, good atmosphere. So, that's what I'm looking forward to doing, man. But y'all got Texas A&M though. So,
Dude, that game is always up in the air. It doesn't matter who's playing. Like and that game always makes me nervous, and that's how Arkansas was a lot for a long time. Not as much now. I feel like two or three teams we play are like that. Like Ole Miss is like that. Alabama's always like that. But A&M is like scary. Don't know why. It's just man. Everybody remembers when we went to like 7 or 8 overtimes. When I feel like we were the better team and couldn't get it done in overtime. But man, they play harder. They play like it's just crazy. So I think it'll be a really good matchup. I think we win. But this is the thing: they don't have anything to lose. Your coach is gone. You have nothing to lose. That's the scariest team to play outside of like what I said earlier with Oregon State. Like a team that has nothing to lose, that's loaded with talent, and they just want to go out and just, oh, Jaden Daniels wants to win the Heisman. Oh, shit, we're going to try to make sure that doesn't happen.
yeah,
So, I mean, I think that'll be a really good matchup as well.
yeah, man. If he want to win the Heisman, man, he got to show out. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Because he don't have the extra game to play, so he gonna have to really ball out, man, and really say, okay,
He's gonna probably have to throw for 300-400 yards and probably at least run for 100 yards on the ground, easy. And
yep,
he's gonna have to get some scores in there. Like you're gonna have to take. I'm not saying break the record again, but if I had to take a guess, you're throwing for over 400 yards. You're probably throwing for at least 3 touchdowns, and you got to run for at least 100 yards on a touchdown to have a chance.
yeah, man, I agree. So yeah, man. Hey, man, this was a great show, man. Real good show today, man. So we got a lot of topics in today, man. Like I said, but before we shut it down, got anything to say, bro?
Yeah, man. Just want to thank you for your hard work. You greatly appreciate it, man. We're on a bunch of new platforms now, guys. If you don't really want to do YouTube, you don't have to. We're on Spotify, we're on Audible, Amazon Music, on Listen Notes as well. That's another different one. Go subscribe, man. If y'all like to, y'all drive around, y'all can listen to us. If you want to just listen to us while you're at the gym, whatever. Like you don't have to just watch. You don't just have to watch the videos. We have audio content. Like he said, if you want to get into sports gambling, we're with US Bet US. My mistake. Bet US, oldest sports book on the market. Have a nice little link in the description. Also, we're gonna have links for all this other crazy stuff. Like he said, off the ball network. If you don't just watch football, baseball, basketball, all that good stuff, constant content coming through. Check them out as well. We're still at around almost 12,000 subscribers. We slowed down a little bit. We just want to say thank you guys for all the constant support, the likes, the comments. We really love the feedback. We would love it. Y'all just continue to just give feedback as well. But man, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss a beat. Plenty of college content, pro content, top fives, top tens, what if series, discussions, all that good stuff. So, man, check out the channel. Check us out on all those other platforms. I think you'd really enjoy. And y'all have a great day.
Hey, man, couldn't have said it better myself, man. One more thing, man. We're getting into the merchandise game, man. We're gonna put a link in our description, man. Check it out, man. Like I said, we're not really trying to push it like that, but give us some feedback, man. If you like it, of course, get you one. But like I said, we launching our first merchandise item. So check it out, man, and let us know what you think. So, like I said, but without further ado, I'm Cam. That's Brandon. This is a Football Frame of Mind podcast. Signing off.